Listen, it's me, your little boy, it is Samson. Listen, let me tell you something today. Listen, you need to wait to the end of this video. If you are new, don't forget to subscribe. Listen, many people up there are absolutely what frustrated. They are mad. Why? Because God refused to give up upon you. He never gave up on us. He never gave up on us. He never give up on us. So believe me, a lot of people are frustrated. Why? Because God refused to give up upon you despite of all our mistake. Even in our mistake, even in our delay, even in our rejection, He refused to give up upon us. He never give up on us. He never give up on us. Some of them will just be like watching us from afar to see if God have give up upon us. Some of them are secretly watching us through different word system to make sure to see if truly God have given up upon us. But they hold them because in our front, God is there. In our right, God is there. In all we do, God is there. God is still working perfect and marvelous in our life. And that is why they are frustrated. Because God never stopped watching us. Their thought was that God will give up upon us. Their thought was that God will give up upon our life. Their thought was that God will give up upon everything around us. But they are frustrated because God refused to give up. God refused to give up upon us. God refused to let what they are saying behind the scene to come to pass. God refused to allow their word come to actualize. God refused to allow their agenda come to fulfill. God refused to allow their evil doing come to manifest. God refused to allow their word come to do what? Accomplished. And that is why majority and many people up there are frustrated because God refused to give up upon us. Because God refused to give up upon our life. Even in our mistake, even in our downfall, even in the lowest part of our time, even in the lowest part of our moment, God refused to give up. That is why a lot of people up there are sick. Because they were waiting, expecting for God to give up upon you so that they can continue from where God stopped. Meaning they can continue to destroy, frustrate, harm you, do whatsoever they feel like. But God told them, I am the CEO of this place. I am the general overseer of this life. I change it not. Yes, he may cut short of my glory, but that does not mean I have cut short of him. Hey, some of them are like, God is not giving up upon you. Why God is not? We are the chosen generation. Come forth to show His excellency. All we require for God, God has given us. I know who I am. I know who God says I am. What they says I am. I know who we are. I know who we are. I know who God says. You gotta say, so it pissed a lot of people off because God refused to give up upon you. Despite of our mistake, God refused to allow their word come to accomplish. Despite of our mistake, God refused to allow their evil work, evil word come to perform in our life. And that is why they are frustrated. A lot of people up there are secretly mad because what they meant for evil, God is accurately using it for our good. It pissed a lot of majority of people up there off because God refused to let their evil, God refused to let their work, God refused to let their word, God refused to let their purpose, God refused to let their mission accomplished in our life, and that is why they are frustrated. That is why they are humiliated, because the Bible says he was wounded for our transgression, he was brought up for our iniquity, and the chastisement of our peace was upon him, and by his stripes we are made whole. He said, I am the Lord that doeth it, that men may fear them. He said, no, he is the Lord that doeth it, that men may fear them. Their thought was that because of our mistake, God will do what? Will give up upon us. Their thought was that because of our what, of our delay, because of our struggle, because of the fact that we made mistake in one angle to another, that means God will give up upon us. But he pissed them off. Why? Because God refused to give up upon us, even when they give up upon us. Listen, a lot of people are mad because they give up upon you too early. But the I am that I am refused to give up upon you. They concluded on your behalf, but the author and the finisher of our faith refused to do what? Give up upon us. And that is why they are unhappy. That is why they are frustrated and humiliated, because they were hoping and expecting God to give up upon us, but he disappointed them. He keep protecting, preserving, enlarging our coast right in front of them. That is why many of them are like, why would God be doing all these things? Why would God be protecting him? Why would God be securing him? Why would God be excelling him? Why would God be enlarging him? Because God automatically disappoints them. Because God automatically frustrates them. Because God automatically distracts them, disconnect them, and frustrate them. Their thought was that they will surely see God giving up upon us, because they gave up upon us, because they refused to believe that we will still make it even without them. But God refused to allow their word come to accomplish, and that is why they are mad. May God bless you.